Hey guys, it's Friday. Today we're kind of finishing up our reading on the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 7, and we hit a whole bunch of things. It's kind of like a random conglomeration of all of the quick little teachings. So like, chapter 7 begins with about how we shouldn't judge others, because really, how can we judge when we aren't seeing even ourselves and the own problems we have when we go and we make judgments on other people? Or about how if we ask, it will be given to us. If we seek, we will find. I'm in verse 7. Knocking, it will be open to you. Basically, trusting God to give us when we ask, to really be honest with Him. The golden rule: whatever you wish that others would do, you do to them also. There's stuff about how, we can look like great Christians but not really be great Christians. Jesus even says, I'm jumping ahead to verse 21, he says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. It's crazy to think about the fact that what God requires of us, what Jesus wants of us, is pretty strict. I mean, do you really believe that Jesus expected this level of morality, integrity from his followers? And if you look through the entire scriptures, I mean, if you page through this book, that whole integrity thing, that whole morality thing, it doesn't change. Just because the world around us changes, just because things change, doesn't mean that God's standard changes. It doesn't mean that His law, His way for how we should live, how we should treat each other, how we should be in each other's lives, doesn't mean that's changed. In fact, it doesn't change. I don't know if you know this or not, but God is God and I'm not, and neither are you. So it means if this is God's law, He ain't gonna budge. But here's the beautiful thing in this. I mean, yes, this is how God expects us to live this out. This is what God wants us to live out. This is what He's literally redeeming us to look like. And yet, we often fall short of this standard, right? We often fall short of things like we judge others all the time. We don't really trust that God takes care of us. We don't really think about the things we do to other people and if we would want them to do the same to us. We don't 100% follow God's law. And that's why He sent Jesus. That's the simple, pure reason. Because God wanted to show His love for us in this, that while He knew that we could not completely live up to His standard, that's an effect of free will. It's an effect of sin in this world. God provided a way for us to have a relationship with Him, so that He can literally keep working on us to make us look like what we should look like, so that He could redeem the judgmental side of us, that He could restore faith, that He could help us think about what we do to others before we do it. That's what we're living for, as people in God's kingdom. I don't know how your week's been. I don't know what you're dealing with, but I do know that if we start to walk with Jesus, if we start to follow His example, if we start to really try and live it out, our relationships with others get better. When life isn't all about me, then life really has greater meaning. This is the way Jesus ends in Matthew's account, the Sermon on the Mount. He says, and when Jesus had finished these things, the crowds were astonished at His teaching, for He was teaching them as one who had authority, and not as the scribes. It wasn't just talking out of some history book. He was bringing again the revelation, the understanding, the rule, the law, the guidance of God to these people and to you and me. So have a great Friday. Read Matthew chapter 7 and dig into this a little bit. I pray your walk with Jesus grows today.